You will lie awake in your own bed, and one night hoping for the morning to come, and that's when you hear something tapping on your window. At first you assume to be a sound of a tree branch hitting the window, but as time goes, the noise becomes louder and louder, and you begin to expect the worst, as it starts becoming louder and louder, and by this time it sounds like someone is banging on your window with all their force, almost as if they were trying to get your attention. At this point you were certain that you could not be the tree branch, and yet again you still couldn't bring yourself to move your body into the warm silk sheets that you lay beneath. Perhaps maybe not the smartest decision. Surely whoever lied behind the window would have got to go sometime or another, wouldn't they? You certainly hope so. That's when you saw the thing behind the curtain slowly tapping on the window. At first, as it seems, it's trying to play a little tune, but you can't run for the rest of your life as you put a name to it. And it certainly doesn't sound like anything you have ever had before. You tried your best to ignore it, but even doing so, you seem to be aggravate the person even further. And at this point that you were beginning to question whatever this thing was truly a human, or perhaps maybe the slightest chance that this was a body, attempt to get you a look. But something stops you from turning all the way. As you try, you cannot bear to look at the curtains, and at the corner of your eye you could see a small window forming the wall in your bedroom. You couldn't be so sure whatever it was, at least it looked like a hand of an arm of a human being. There was definitely about this whole thing, however, as the fingernails ran through, you could possibly just see through the shadow that you were clearly very sharp, sharper than any other human nail could be, and the arm looked very skinny, almost skeleton-like appearance. You trembled with fear as you saw the fingers form into a pointing motion and began tapping gently on the glass window. You had to turn around and had to confront the unruly guest. It was now or never, but you still have not yet to come to your courage to look behind the curtains. Whoever or whatever it was behind those silk gray curtains must have been getting impatient and grow at the very moment until you heard the unmistakable sound of your bedroom door or window clicking open. A cold breeze entered your room, but as you heard the curtains draw open, you didn't even look 2 seconds to have gone, and the curtains were opened up to their full capacity, and the entire bed becomes lengthful in large, huge shadow. All you held your breath, and oddly enough, the creature didn't seem to have need of breath. You didn't even climb into your bedroom with your thankfully, and they just stood there right outside the window from your door. And you finally had enough decide to attempt the fate by running to face now the open curtains. You had no idea what you were confronting from this creature. I did mean you were going to really yell at the creature, try to whack it with a baseball bat that you kept hidden underneath your bed. You didn't have time to dwell on those questions, as you already turned around, completely brought your face to face with that creature. You wish that you had never done that. This creature had a giant smile and reached from ear to ear, although the smile may appear friendly to most, but you given this an uncomfortable vibe, and you could clearly see that there was a malice hidden in it. The hair was gray and silky with that of a spider's web, and the face meanwhile was human-like, but it still looked very feral. Through the hair and the old and gray, the face looked like a young, remarkable, well-kept. Surprisingly, the creature was also wearing more clothes, so it appeared to have been wearing more bathrobe, which was covered in dust and soot. You were then scared that by this, that the creature would not say a word, and it did not blink. It did not attempt to scare you into you holding yourself underneath the covers. By far the worst part, it just stared at you, in a curious sense that was even worse. The creature didn't even try and strike you with its fatal claws, and at that every moment you debating on whatever quickly and reaching under your bed to grabbing the baseball bat in order to attack the creature. But as the creature's smile grew larger and larger, you could not bear to look upon it any longer. You did not even hide underneath the sheets, and did not even run out of the bedroom to show out the front of that door. What was that have you seen? An attempt to scare that would result in surely the creature chasing you down and killing you, or perhaps even worse. No, instead you hide your face inside your arms and crouch down onto a bed, into a small blanket makeshift ball. Then when you hear the creatures jumping out of the window and onto the hardwood floor of your bedroom, that's when you feel it. The creature began rubbing your back in a gentle, careless, as it had a large purple hand. There was nothing left to do now. All you could do is sit there quietly and pray until the creature goes away. And that, my little pretties, was Don't Look Behind the Curtains, I guess you could say a creepypasta written by Matthew Bumford. Matthew Bumford, thank you for so much for writing this story. Thank you for letting me, read this story. This was highly appreciated. I really do like it, and I could definitely say this story was actually really good. So, with that being the case, I'm gonna sit here and say this right now. Now, this is more of a creepypasta. It's not a funny pasta. It's a creepypasta. So, I got a lot of things to say to it. So, this is actually, to be putting it as honest and bluntly as I possibly can, this story is a lot better than the other creepypastas that don't do any good by sitting there and just adding, bunch of unnecessary cliches. I seriously don't understand why that's the case, to be completely honest, but people nowadays need to learn that they need to put their time and effort into the stories. Unless if you're going to make like a dumb troll pasta or something, that's a very understandable reason. I kind of understand, why that's the case. But this story, oh my goodness, this story was bone chilling. Like, this story was absolutely bone chilling. Like, I was nearly chilling to the bone. This story was actually very scary. Like, a creature or whatever it was is like tapping on the window and is hiding behind the curtain. And oh my goodness. My goodness, that is just really horrifying. I would be probably pissing myself if I ever were to wake up to see something behind my curtains. Well, I don't have curtains right now. They're just kind of white sheets, but I use them as curtains. I don't have curtain rods, but it's something. But this kind of stuff can happen to anybody. Like anybody, sleeping one night, everything's all peaceful and nothing bad happens. But then they wake up and then they see, there's a whatever the creature was outside and scaring the crap out of you and making you, well, piss yourself basically, or crap yourself, whatever works. And then you end up seeing this creature, or whoever was unexpectedly staring at you from the room from behind the curtains. This is actually very freaky. It kind of reminds me of one of those horror stories that you probably. This kind of reminds me of one of the horror stories that you kind of, would hear, on Mr. Haunted's channel, Mr. Nightmare's channel, or anything like that. It's kind of like what you would see in one of the horror narrators channels. You would actually hear, hear saying, I looked over my window and I saw something behind the curtains, and it was, it's really freaky because this is actually very believable, and it's based on believability, and that's a very good positive why I actually like this pasta. It's because it's believing in the believability of this story. So, with that being said, I'm going to sit there and say that I really do find this story to be rather amazing and really well done. I do like how this story went out, as I really do appreciate, the good concept behind this. Now, I definitely have to say the grammar was really well done, along with the sentence structuring and the paragraph structuring. So that is a very good positive. I'm going to say that right now. So, with that being said, it was freaky. Yes, I could definitely say it was a very, very, very freaky story, to be honest. I really, freaked out when I first read this. This was actually a really well-made pasta. So to Matthew Bumford, you did a really good job with this story. I was really freaking out with this story, mainly because this story was really good, but it was actually had the believability. It sends people chills down their spine. It's just flat out amazing. I definitely have to say, this story, this is probably one of the best examples if you want to write a good creepypasta. This is actually a good example of is one of Matthew Bumford's stories. Yes, I know he does write mainly funny pastas, but he does write some creepypastas as well. So yeah, if to Matthew Bumford, if you want to have me read more of your creepypastas, feel free to comment on them in the comments below, and I will consider checking them out. With that being the case, and that being said, I actually found this story to be rather believable, really scary, and really well made. The protagonist being scared of it, and I wouldn't blame the protagonist for sitting there, getting scared of, the creature behind the closet. Like, this is actually based on believability. It's not, people getting scared for no reason, not like in a lot of Lost episode creepypastas that have no explanation of why the character is so scared. Like, I seriously don't understand why that's the case with some creepypastas, but this creepypasta actually did pretty good, and that's a very good positive that I'm saying with this story. I actually love this story. So with that being the case, and with that being said, I'm gonna say right here, this was not a long story, and this review is not as long as the other ones. I'm just keeping it as short as I possibly can. So, To be completely honest, I'm gonna sit here and say that this story was this is my personal opinion on this story. And if you happen to disagree with me on this story or disagree with my opinion, that's totally fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of the story is I'm gonna say 10 out of 10. Really bone chilling, really believable, really scary too, because this is a good example of how people should write their stories, but unfortunately, that's not the case with, creepypastas nowadays. I'm just disappointed on that, but they're very rarity. There are some people out there that do put their time and effort into the stories. So, with that being the case, I'm gonna sit there and say right now that I already did. Oh yeah, I already gave it my rating. But if you guys want to check this out, this is on CJ March Wiki. If you guys want to check out the story, I highly recommend you do so. It's a pretty good scary story. So the Matthew Bumford, I really hope you write more creepypastas someday. This is awesome, really well made in detail, bone chilling. I can definitely say it was very, very, very bone chilling and really well made. So I'm gonna sit there and, kind of, explain, more. I really do like how this story went out. It was just really amazing. Well done. It was just flat out amazing. I really do like how this story went out. So, anyways, with that being the case, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you all not? Also, what we have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, because then we make brand new videos every single day. I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so that you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, I'll be seeing you all in the next video. Peace out. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out.